have Dave Baumgartner, our new board member, sworn in. That's Jeff's responsibility.
Thanks,
And
Tammy. And thank
Do this the same way we did it
You,
before.
you got, get out of here, Coach.
The protocol.
You know the routine. Get out of here.
What are we swearing in next week for?
It's been a whirlwind, you come over here, but thanks for all of the work that you guys do, and also thank you for welcoming Coach. Privileged to do this, Coach. You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, David Baumgartner,
I, David Baumgartner,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully
impartially,
and impartially
and diligently
and diligently
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a member of the Board of Zoning Appeals,
as a member of the
Board of
Board of
Zoning
Zoning Appeals
for the City of Warsaw,
for the City of Warsaw,
according to the law
according to the law
and to the best of my
and
ability.
to the best of my ability.
Hallelujah.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Sign it,
Right
right?
here.
Dave, not to scare you, but Jeff was saying next week it's gonna be the cemetery board.
Well, he gets appointed to the Warsaw Planning Commission, and well, you were there, and within 10 minutes, he's a member of.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, it was
He's everywhere.
quickly.
He's
Yeah,
everywhere.
moving
You
right
guys,
up Yeah.
is dog catcher open?
There's.
Don't catch her.
Thank you.
You're in the mix.
Yeah.
Thank
Well, welcome, thank you,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next up, approval of the July 22nd minutes, please.
Madam President, I've read the minutes. If there are no further questions or comments, I move to approve.
I'll take a second on that, please.
Second.
Thank you, Dan. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you. I think I signed that. Next, our first thing for new business, the development standards for 315 Hemlock at Park Ridge has been tabled for tonight, and so we're going to move on to 2024-0902. Oh, do we need to make a motion?
I think so.
Should we make a motion to table the Hemlock one, please?
I would make a motion to table the Hemlock until what, next month? Until next month.
Thank you.
Second.
Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, motion carried. Now we'll move on to 2024-0902, 638 Armstrong Purity Cylinder Gases.
Yep, the petitioners requested a variance from development standards to allow a smaller than required green space in an I-2 zoning district. With added concrete and a new loading dock location in the rear of the property, there's not enough green space to meet those requirements by the city code. The new plan adds concrete in the front of the property for additional parking and better access to the rear. The concrete in the rear of the property accommodates the new loading dock location. The current condition has 28% green space, and the proposed new plan has 9% green space. Right there is an attachment of the city code highlighted that they need 25% non-lot coverage. It's the opinion of the plan department that this variance be approved because of the little impact to public safety and morals. And the hardship created by the strict application of the zoning ordinance. This is still subject to engineering review to ensure proper stormwater management at 1638 Armstrong Road.
Thank you, Jackson. Board members, any questions for Jackson before we ask the petitioner to speak?
Well, no, I'm sorry, that's a different one. I'll hold my
Okay.
question until later.
Would someone, one of the petitioners, like to step forward and state your cause on this one, please?
Name and address.
Name and
Speak
address.
loudly
Name.
and state your name.
Aaron Carl, 8620 Bluffton
You might
Road.
want to pull, I know we've got some people that,
8620
is
Bluffton
that even
Road.
on?
It's on.
The red light's on.
I think you need to really speak into it.
Just talk loudly.
Yeah.
It's fine.
My name is Aaron Carl. I'm the engineer, 8620 Bluffton Road out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. On the green space requirements, one of the things that we're going to do to compensate for that is we're actually going to provide stormwater quality to the site, which wouldn't be required under an acre of detention or an acre of disturbance. So That's kind of what we're looking for on that one. I mean, we're gonna make sure the total the dirt runoff, the erosion will be less than what it needs to be, so that it compensates for the green space.
It's my understanding, the bigger concern, at least from the neighbors, is the view. And so you submitted a plan, is that correct?
Yes.
And then is there going to be a berm again?
No, we're gonna remove the berm, but we're going to put up a privacy fence. And then if you look on top of the berm right now, there's very tall arborvitae, and we're going to take the same plant and put it along the fence to provide the same screening.
What's the height of the fence?
Can you
6
transplant
foot.
those successfully?
Well,
Because they're pretty big.
Yeah.
if we can't, we'll
Put new ones in?
and they grow pretty quickly.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Jackson and I spoke earlier today, and Jackson, you want, and that really is coming later, but you want higher greenery to begin with,
Yeah, I don't know.
taller.
Yeah, I don't know if it's wrong to jump to that
Right.
one, that it's a whole different
But
subject.
that is coming up.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can talk about that for
Yeah.
that next one.
It's later on.
What is this specific one about?
They're lowering from 28% green space to just 9% green
And
space.
that's the only thing we're looking
That's
at?
all we're looking at.
Okay, the others are coming later.
Yep.
Okay.
And what will the space be? Just concrete then, or parking, or what?
Yeah, it's concrete, parking, new
Okay.
loading dock.
The back area will be stone, like most of the lot that is already there in the back. We'll be adding concrete in front of the loading dock area, and then concrete in the front of the building for parking.
Yeah, that front area highlighted in the blue is a much larger area than what's currently there. It's like, it's a good example of that's grass being taken away and now concrete.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, okay.
But a substantial portion is still going to be gravel too, correct?
Correct.
Right,
In the back.
in the back.
But there's very little room for green space there for the grass. And they have to allow for the water to drain to the west towards the street. So,
And the city's reviewed that, and you're comfortable they have a drainage plan? that
Yeah,
works?
they've gone through the tech review project or process, and that will all go through like final engineering. That's all part of the process. Yep.
I don't have a problem with that.
So it's not storage for like cylinders of gas or anything like that?
No, no, no.
Yeah, okay,
No, no.
yeah.
I drove out by there today. I don't know, Dan, I'm sure you guys did.
Yeah, I met with Eli this
It was
morning.
so clean out there.
It is nice.
Yeah, very
Yep.
clean and respectful of the neighbors.
The other thing that will be happening with this project is all the loading docks that are now in the front will be removed, and the loading docks will only be in the back to meet the new ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, sir, from him?
I have no further questions.
Okay.
Nope.
You can be seated. Do we have anyone in the audience, or anyone else that would like to speak for this out of you guys, for any reason? Okay, thank you. Anyone to speak in remonstrance of this? Ma'am?
Yes, me, hi.
State your name.
I'm Cindy Holler, and I live at 1611 Dot Street, so we are directly behind Purity Gas. Our biggest concern was the shrubbery and the view. If that's removed, you know, we're going to have Purity Gas in our backyard, and that's not. They've been very respectful to the neighborhood. We've never had any issues or complaints. It's just we're concerned with the noise that will be added if you're adding, you know, more vehicles coming and going. And we were also told by our neighbors, the triplets, that that berm would be removed and wasn't going to be replaced. So it sounds like the berm is, something is going to be replaced there. But we're concerned about the height, like how high is this privacy fence going to be? Because right now, the only thing we see is about 2 feet of the top of your building. And that's what we're concerned with. We don't want to look out our window and see trucks driving back and forth. And we were also told that the drive, there was a new drive going in that would run by the chain link fence that's there now. So we were concerned with that being so close to the property.
On the buffer, that the next case will be the landscaping buffer, and we can address those specifically.
Okay.
And to my knowledge, there is not a drive on the west side being added.
There's no changes in the drive on the
Okay, it's at the same gate that's currently there?
East side.
Initially had talked about going to the northwest up by your fence line, and we're not.
Okay, it's maintaining that current gate. Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Good.
Does that answer?
That's our big concern is that the view and, that if there was nothing there, that it would cut down on our property value by having a business in our backyards.
I think we can get those questions and you reassured with our next case.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I will close all comments from the audience. Any further comments, questions, concerns up here, please? If not-
I mean, As Jackson's, I understand, the city engineer has looked at this and he's okay with the reduced size and the drainage and everything?
Correct.
Okay.
And still has to go through the official, like, engineering process. It will all be vetted through that department.
That's all I have.
Would anyone care to make a motion on this case, please?
Yes, I will make a motion, we approve.
Thank you, Jeff. Do I have a second on that?
I will second that.
Thank you, Dave. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you. Now, let's move on here to, this is to allow a smaller than permitted landscape buffer in the I-2 zoning, case number 2024-0903. Do we have a petition, questions? I guess we need the petitioner.
I can, do you want me to read through this really
Yeah,
quick?
Yeah, review.
The petitioner has requested a variance from development standards to allow a smaller than permitted landscaping buffer in I-2 zoning district. Since the loading dock is being relocated to the rear of the property, there's a need for more space for trucks to maneuver. This current site has a 25-foot landscape buffer, which meets the city code. And the proposed plan, I think, is roughly like 9 to 10 feet, if I read some measurements correctly. You can see at the top of that map attached. It's the opinion of the planning department that this variance for a smaller landscape buffer be approved at 1638 Armstrong Road. Because of the little impact, I would like to maybe put a stipulation on that, with there being an 8-foot continuous hedge to guarantee privacy or kind of maintain that current standard for the neighbors. I liked the fence being turned to a privacy fence, and it's a great step as well. Yeah, if there's maybe a route to go with that, that's kind of up to you guys. But I do recommend that we approve that if there are some steps made to maintain that privacy more as is instead of like in 10 years when some trees grow to full size.
And Jackson, when you're talking about the buffer, the tree buffer and continuous, do we want it approximately like pretty much what it is now? I mean,
So yeah, the continuous would mean like you can't see through it. So the privacy fence is already going to help with that.
right,
And then if those same trees are just placed right behind the fence, that's what I would mean by
okay,
that.
okay.
If that makes sense.
And those trees are thick.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good.
They're good trees,
They're
but
good.
So if they can be transplanted, I think that's great.
Yeah.
What's the height of the fence gonna be?
I think the fence is 6 feet.
Is
It might be 8. I'm not
Is
sure.
that the maximum that the city allows?
I could look. Let me look at an industrial district. Do you guys know the height of that fence?
They're 6 feet, because
Okay.
I looked at it this morning with
Yeah.
Eli.
I
and-
figured it was
It
6.
Yeah.
And then what is the current height of these trees on top of the berm, and what will it be
Oh, my gosh.
with
Oh,
the
they're-
trees?
they're up there. I think.
Substantial.
They're
I
probably.
mean, they're very tall. I don't have a
They're
number.
I
Well,
bet
she
10
mentioned she only sees the top 2 feet of the building.
Right.
10,
So I'm
12
assuming
feet
they'd like
long.
to see something similar. How much shorter is it gonna be without that berm if you put these same trees on the ground?
I wouldn't know how tall that berm is. I mean, it'd be significantly shorter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell how high that berm sits, but it does
It's roughly 25 feet to the top, right?
to the top of the
Is it,
trees.
is it that much with the,
Between the berm and the trees.
no kidding?
Now, what's the
Wow.
height of the berm if you had to guess?
Big part,
What's the height of the berm if you had to guess?
about 5 to 6 feet.
Yeah, I was
5 to
gonna
6
say
feet.
5 or 6 feet, yeah.
So by moving it closer to the property line,
It's set right there.
It will
No, I
change.
say, but these trees are gonna be the same height, but they're gonna be lower.
Yeah, they're
because
gonna be
of-
lower.
Yeah,
But if there's a fence along there,
well, that's not gonna stop you
Right,
seeing the
no.
top of the building.
well, lower
No.
and closer to the feet. close
Yeah.
to the fence.
And there's no way to put a berm back there that close because of drainage.
I think it's so thin. I don't know if there's-
Yeah, that's what I know.
You think the same upward trajectory, like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
Can I open this up for the petitioner to speak? Would someone like, one of you petitioners, please come up and plead your case again? Thank you.
Maybe re-say what was all
Yeah.
just said, not on a microphone.
Aaron Carl,
Speak into the microphone, please.
what we're planning on doing with this is using the same vegetation, the same trees. They grow tall. They're roughly 15 to 20 foot tall. So when you're looking from the neighbor's backyard, it'll be almost on the same projection as what they see now with the mound, just because they're closer. Those they're arborvitae, and they actually grow pretty quick. So if we plant one that's 6 to 8 feet tall now, it should be 3 or 4 years, and it's gonna be close to the same size that's there now, so.
Okay. Any questions of the petitioner?
There's no saving the current trees, I take it?
We're gonna try,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they can transplant them,
but that won't be, we'll still need a few more to finish it
Fill
up,
in.
so.
Fill in.
yeah.
Because there are some current gaps in those
Yeah.
trees already.
Right,
Some
I
have
see that, yeah.
died and, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Do you have any further questions, ma'am? Have we, come back forward, please.
I'm not sure. I mean, to me, it seems like, I mean, I realize the closer they come to our property, these trees. If we're standing in the backyard, yes, I can say we're not going to see anything back there. But if we're in our home and we look out, because our home sits up higher, then I think we're still going to see activity going on that property. So that's, I guess that's my biggest concern. And the fact that if the trees don't grow, will they be replaced with new ones and maintained as long as they're there?
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
feel free to come up here.
First off, yeah, Chris Stout, Purity Cylinder Gases, I'm one of the corporate managers based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And to put your fears at rest, we want to be a good neighbor. Like you said, we've always tried to be a good neighbor to our neighbors. There's no difference here. We absolutely have worked with the city, with our engineers, and talked about how can we reclaim a lot of that berm area because space is tight, right? For our company, we continue to grow that location. So getting that berm is going to help us with space. How do we maintain that privacy for you guys? It's always going to be front of mind.
that's what you're talking
So
about here.
if some of those trees do
Yeah.
need to be replaced, if they don't make it, we will
And these
absolutely
are gonna
do
be
what's right
along here.
and replant. So,
With a fence that's gonna replace that,
Thank you.
okay.
right?
I hear you too.
Well, there's gonna be.
Next
Go
one.
ahead.
Any,
Well, there's a fence that exists already, a chain link, that's gonna be replaced with a privacy fence. Is that correct? Yeah, okay.
Or is there gonna be a privacy fence on the south side of that chain link?
I think it's a new fence,
A new fence?
getting rid of the chain link.
good, yeah.
Okay, so will it be solid?
Yeah.
So
A
that-
privacy
That'll
fence.
protect the residents so they don't have to hear any noise. I mean, there's
Yeah.
not gonna be a lot of industrial movement there because the shipping docks are still gonna be up where they're at.
Well, they're relocated on the
They're
rear
relo-
side,
right.
but yes, they are not right up against that
Right,
property
they're
line.
not right up against that.
If I could add, we currently use both front and back of the property loading dock scenarios, so we would just do more in the back
Yeah,
than we currently are, but there's still,
yeah.
there's most around.
And just to clarify, hours of operation, when you have trucks coming in, not after 5 o'clock.
Nothing after 5, trucks don't really move before 7.
Okay,
How many trucks a day, just out of curiosity?
There'll be 3 route trucks loading in the morning and leaving, and then coming back later in the day. Throughout the course of the day, 3 would be about the most trucks we see.
So
Okay.
About nine truck visits.
yeah,
Okay.
Not gonna
that's
be too bad.
not horrible bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's not horrible bad. Any other questions? Any other questions or comments from my audience here? With that, I'll close this to the public here, gentlemen?
Jackson, what was your recommendation, stipulation?
Having the continuous hedge automatically put in place right away instead of
Is
just,
that not in this now?
based on what they said, if they put 6 to 8 foot trees there now, that would meet with that,
Yeah.
for sure. And the privacy fence to me is an add-on.
Okay.
That, I didn't know that was part of this project, so.
So do we need, when we make a motion, because you do have it in here, but we need to make a motion that includes that privacy fence?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. And if you want, throw in the continuous, and Jackson had put in here 8 feet. I know that would be ideal. That would help.
For a
with
fence?
For the
Some sort of
landscape,
landscaping
the hedge,
hedges.
8 feet,
To start with? Okay, I'm with you.
okay?
I thought you were talking about fences.
Yeah.
No,
that's good.
6-foot fence,
Yeah.
8-foot hedges.
I will say, trying to put an 8-foot hedge in to start with is very difficult. Those are very large hedges. The arborvitae will come 6 to 8 feet, and that's normally the highest you can get on most shrubs if you're going with something else where it's not an arborvitae. It's very costly and very hard to keep them alive.
Yeah. Yes.
But you're still gonna try and move the ones you've got, and then it's gonna be hit or miss. You may have to replace some with a 6 or 8 footer or
They're
whatever.
gonna
you got.
fill in between the
Right.
gaps.
Yeah, gaps, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, best you can do is best you can do.
Yeah.
I have a feeling moving a tree, no offense, but moving a tree that size is not gonna be an easy feat.
No.
Get enough room.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
If there are no further questions or comments, I move to approve.
I need a second on that.
Second.
Thank you,
Second with
Dan.
the stipulation,
Of the privacy fence and as close to 8 feet, between at least the 6 to 8 feet. You happy with that, Jackson? 6 to 8 feet?
And a continuous
Right.
line of bushes all the way across.
Yeah.
And that's from property line to property line, which is
Yeah. Good.
I would say the most that you guys can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making a decision, but that's,
Well, because do we need to, are there trucks that come out on that west side? Does that fence open? I know I went by there.
It's right up against the building is the gate, so it goes straight across the street to the truck route,
Okay.
because
Because we don't want those arborvitae to block, a view
Yeah.
of
correct.
our traffic.
That's why there has not
Right,
been something
right.
there, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. To allow gravel as a paving material in an I-2. So this is case number 2024-0904, Jackson.
yeah, the petitioner has requested a variance from development standards to allow gravel as a paving material in an I-2 zoning district. The petitioner is increasing their gravel usage and asking to maintain that as a paving solution since they've done that for quite some time. Since the petitioner is currently maintaining gravel, it's the opinion of the planning department that this variance be approved at 1638 Armstrong Road, with the condition maybe of some concrete apron, maybe at that west entrance to keep that gravel off of the public street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I would land with that one.
Any questions of Jackson before I throw this out here?
Throw it.
That apron size of 20 feet, is that kind of a standard of the industry sort of thing to avoid gravel getting into the
I'm not sure.
road?
That was just kind of discussed like in our department. I'm not sure if it comes from a standard, if that was just like what's usually done. I'm not sure. I would assume.
Always a dangerous word.
They're gonna be landlocked there because they limited space.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just curious, is 20 foot sufficient or not? And I just wondered if they were going by some industry standard, but apparently it's assumed. Anyway.
I don't see it as a problem.
No. Would the petitioner like to get up and speak for this again, please?
Aaron Carl. We're just looking to continue what we've already got there. There's, with the truck traffic and stuff, there becomes a lot of maintenance. If we pave it or concrete it, and it would be a lot easier for us to maintain what we already have. As-
Do you have a problem with the 20-foot apron?
No.
Thank you.
Is dust a concern or not, or is that gravel, I mean, as far as it goes to,
It's limestone.
it's limestone and it
Yeah.
won't, that'd be limited amount of that,
Yeah,
okay?
there won't be much dust.
Yeah, okay.
Do we have neighbors that have questions in regards to this? Okay, thank you.
Is it fair to say dust has not been a problem?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Okay. With that, can I close this to the, I'll
Yeah.
close this to the
I
public?
think so.
Any other comments, gentlemen? Questions, concerns?
I make a motion, we
I'll-
approve it.
I'll take a motion.
Yeah,
Dan,
I'll
thank you.
second.
Rick, thank you. All in favor? Dan was first, then Rick. All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Short and
Don't get
sweet.
fooled by the first one, which is.
Jackson, do we have anything else that needs to be brought to our attention?
Nope. Thanks, Dave, for joining BZA.
And
No,
with
thank
that,
you.
I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Thank you,
All in
everybody.
favre?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. No
Thank
argument over
you.
that. Dave, I like that outfit. You look sharp, buddy.
Well, I tried-
Didn't Dave